So in today's episode, I'm going to give you some lessons about turning 50. Lessons that I've learned along the path to this big number of 50. It's not quite what you think of what I'm referring to, so I'll leave it at that because I want you to hear this episode. It's short, it's powerful, it's impactful. As always, I encourage you to grab a pad of paper and pen, take some notes because you're going to get some strong insights and golden nuggets and takeaways from this episode. Enjoy. Hi, I'm Marshall Stern, and I've spent over 35 years leading and growing multiple small businesses. I know firsthand the struggles of entrepreneurship, feeling isolated, lonely, overwhelmed, and feeling like you have to do it all by yourself. I've been through multiple recessions, and I have felt the highs and the lows. I've been there, and I get it. This podcast is here to change that. Every week, I will bring you straight talking advice, real-world strategies, and honest conversations about what it takes to succeed in business without the fluff, the gimmicks, or the sugarcoating. If you're ready to stop spinning your wheels and start making real progress, then you are in the right place. This is the Stern Truth. All right, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Stern Truth, Business Unfiltered. And you're probably saying to yourself when you saw the title of this episode, man, Marshall, you look really good for 50. Okay. I have not just turned 50, so there's that. In fact, I turned 50 several years ago, but my podcast did turn 50. And if you saw last week's episode 50, we turned 50. Our 50th episode this year, our 50th episode of the Stern Truth Business Unfiltered. And I know, I really look good for 50. Okay, that's fine. I'm not 50. Let's move on. I want to talk to you about the lessons that I have learned in this whole experience in the 50th episode and in the lead up to the 50th episode, in the whole evolution of this podcast. You see, here's the thing. I had a podcast many years ago, somewhere around 2013, 2014. I maybe had 20 episodes. I had a couple listeners, including my mom, and I stopped doing it. I always wanted to restart or relaunch or start a new podcast. And I kept saying one day, that one day I kept saying, I will. When I'm ready, when the time is right, when I get around to it. You've heard that. We've all said it, I will when. In fact, if you go back to episode 6, I talk about that quite a bit, about the I will when mindset. And so when the calendar turned 2025, okay, almost a year ago, if you're listening to this as it comes out, I started to reflect on the past year and I started to reflect on what I accomplished and what I didn't. And the podcast was on my list, but I didn't have a set specific time frame. I just said, yeah, I'd like to start the podcast this year. So in 2024. But I didn't put any timelines to it. I didn't have a plan to it. I just said, yeah, it's on my list. I'd like to. It was nice to have. One day I'll do it, and I'll do it sometime this year. And I never got around to it. So when the calendar flipped to 2025, in fact, backing up early December of 2024, so around about a year ago to the day almost, I took and I highly recommend this for everyone. I took a 48-hour or a 2-day retreat, what I call a CEO entrepreneur retreat. And I went into a hotel room, actually in the same city that I live in, and I checked myself into the hotel room, and I got clarity. I spent some time. I went for walks. I exercised. I swam. Hung out in the hot tub. Cleared my head, and I began to journal. And I began to plan. I needed to get clarity first of what the previous year had looked like and what I wanted to accomplish in 2025, the year ahead. And one of the carryover items year after year was the podcast. So I put it on my list. By December 2025, I will have launched the podcast. In fact, my goal was to launch it in the first half of 2025. But again, I didn't have a complete plan, but I had clarity to the fact that I wanted to launch it and I was committed to launching it. But I still, in the back of my mind, I still had that I will when the time is right. And life happens, right? And I have coaching clients, one-to-one group programs I was launching. And it wasn't until the CEO Entrepreneur 48-hour retreat that I really realized One of the reasons why I hadn't launched it was because I needed a team and I didn't have a team. I knew what didn't work the first time. I was doing everything. And after 20 or 22 episodes or whatever it was under a different name back then. I got tired of doing it because I was recording it. I was coming up with the content, which I have no shortage of. I was recording it, but then I was editing it. I was doing all the graphics. I was doing everything myself. And it was taking me away from my focus of what I really should be doing, which is the conversations, the coaching sessions, the building relationships. I love this part, but the rest of it, there was someone else who could do it faster, better, more effective. And so I set out in 2025 to find that person. And lo and behold, the person was right in front of me. And if you watch episode 50, you will meet the team behind The Stern Truth, my team. They are amazing. Um, I highly recommend it. If you haven't, after this, go back and watch that. And Lindsay and Jordan, amazing boss assistants. And because I brought them on my team, I was able to focus on actually launching the podcast. And actually, within less than 3 weeks of finding out that Jordan and her team actually did podcast editing and management, I had my first episode published, which was remarkable. I would have never done that on my own. So if you have something on your list, on your business bucket list that you have not achieved, I highly recommend and encourage you to go back and look at why you didn't achieve it and what has to change in order for you to then achieve it into 2026 and beyond. So to celebrate the milestone of 50 episodes, and there's going to be so many more, because now I have a team, which allows me to do what I do well and not have to worry about the rest of it. They do that much better than I could. I want to give you the few lessons that not few, but the really important lessons that I learned in this whole journey. Have a clear vision of what you want as you go into 2026. Or if you're listening to this and it is 2026, have a clear vision of what you want the future to look like for you. Have a clear vision as to what the specific goals are that you want to achieve this year or next year and into the future. I like to use maximum of a 3-year time frame. That's lesson number one. So take some time. If it's taking a day or two, if you can do that and you can go to a hotel, great. By yourself, a laptop or a pad of paper, that's great. Build a team. Build a team around you. This is the second lesson I learned. I mean, I knew this before, but this is what's allowed me, this is what's allowed me to be here right now. Because I could have done it on my own, but I wasn't. The point is, a lot of things we can do ourselves, but should we be doing it? Is that where our passion and our genius zone is? In the editing, or maybe in your case, it's the bookkeeping, the admin, the invoicing, all that stuff that's behind the service or the product that you provide your clients, your customers. Should you be doing all the other stuff? Does that light you up? Does it energize you? And if it doesn't, look at what you need to do. Ask yourself, who can I bring on my team? It doesn't have to be an employee. It can be a virtual assistant. It could be someone 5 hours a week, 5 hours a month. Build a team around you that supports you. It could even be a coach or a mentor. Number three, talk about this from time to time as well. I'll say it, focus on the journey. Fall in love with the journey and the process, not the outcome, not the goals. Too many times, especially as we flip the calendar to a new year, New Year's resolutions and business goals and all that kind of stuff, we get all excited about what's going to happen, the outcome, achieving what we say we're going to achieve, but we don't fall in love with the process. And the process is what is going to help you achieve the outcome, your goal, your vision. It is a process, and we need to focus and fall in love with the process and do the work. It's not always easy. Some days you don't want to do it. We need to do it. You need to take breaks. That's fine. Give yourself a break. You need to re-energize yourself, but then get back and do it, and do what lights you up, do what you're really good at, and bring people on your team that can help you achieve it. So that's number three. And the fourth one, once you have the clarity, once you have people on your team, once you're starting to do the work, be committed and be consistent. My friends, it takes It's not sexy. I've said it before. It takes commitment and it takes consistency. If you want to build anything, it doesn't even have to be a business. If you're putting together a puzzle, you have to do it one piece at a time. If you want to build your business, it's one step at a time, but you have to take the steps. Otherwise, you're going to just keep spinning your wheels, and another year is going to go by, and then another year is going to go by, and you will not have achieved what you've wanted to achieve. So here's what I suggest. As we exit 2025, enter 2026, slow down long enough that you can get the clarity that allows you to create the business and the life that you want. Then you can speed up and you plan it and execute it. Do the work. Have people support you. Be committed and be consistent. And then when we meet again next year for episode 100 and whatever it's going to be, we could talk about something else. And maybe we can have you on the Stern Truth podcast talking about how you achieve the goals that you set for yourself in 2026. As always, please subscribe, like, comment. I'd love to hear your feedback on this episode and the others. Again, go back, watch episode number 50. You can meet my team, the team behind the Stern Truth, Business Unfiltered, and episode 6 specifically, the I Will Win. And let's stop and no longer I will win. Let's take action and let's get going. 2026 will be here before we know it, and it'll be gone before we know it. So let's take time and let's just do it. We'll see you again next week in another episode of the Stern Truth, Business Unfiltered.
Thank you so much for tuning in to The Stern Truth. If you found today's episode helpful, we would love to hear from you. Please like, share, and leave us a review. Also, if you'd like to be a guest in an upcoming episode or join us in one of our Momentum Accountability Group sessions, simply email me to marshall@marshallstern.net. That's marshallstern.net. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Until next time, keep pushing forward and leading with confidence.